So the question is, who's the biggest winner among the big three in District 15? How many of you want to make a guess? What I have for you is something very fresh out from the oven. Okay, it's really practically just came out from the oven, piping hot, and we're going to look into Grand Dunman.
So the big question is this: how busy professionals and homeowners like us make six-figure profits from the property we own safely by doing it with research, data, and numbers. How do we buy in a way without complications and half guessing, regardless of the market conditions, and still remain profitable? That is the question. Here, I will share with you exactly what we do and how we do it. My name is Edmund, and welcome to Singapore Real Estate Insider.
I think the big three, Grand Dunman is the one that is most shy, if you ask me, okay? Shy, why? Because nothing much information has been given, ever since they mentioned that they are going to launch this project. And they're so shy that you don't get much data, photos, information about this project at all. So today, right, if you have been trying to follow through whether it's Grand Dunman and what is going to happen in District 15, right, I think you're going to be in for a big treat today. Why? Because I'm going to, fresh out from the piping hot oven, I'm going to give you a glimpse, not just about Grand Dunman. I'm going to share with you the site plan, all right? I'm going to even share with you the layout, what kind of furnishing, what kind of wardrobes, the layout, the kitchen, the toilet, every furnishing I'm going to also share with you in today's major session about Grand Dunman. All right, so if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do me a favor and do it, because along the way, as we get more information for Grand Dunman, I will also share with you all the insights that I have from my years since 2009 in this business. What do I see from this project, and how we as homeowners and busy professionals should take some of all this information to make a logical decision in our purchase later on. All right, so of course I will not cover a lot of the general information that you can find online. Okay, so let's not do that. I'm sure you're able to search those information yourself, but I just want to cover the liao. Okay, I really want to go deep into the liao. I mean the meat, the meat of things. Okay, so just to give you guys an overall summary, of course, Grand Dunman is done by SingHaiYi. All right, SingHaiYi in short form is shy. SHY. That's why they may be very shy to give us more information. And of course, a combination of CSC Land Group. And if you are not familiar with them, let me just give you some breakdown of some of the projects that they have done before. Okay, Verdell at Beauty World area, Bukit Timah, Upper Bukit Timah, Park Greenwich, Twin View is also by them. And of course, Gazania by SingHaiYi, as well as Lithium, if you are familiar in the Bartley area. These are the two projects they have done before. And of course, the mega 1,400 plus size units at Clementi, which is at Park Clementis. Okay, so Park Clementis is 1,400 plus units, and on a very large, big space with high floor type. So it's rather very similar to how Grand Dunman is. So we're going to see how different are they considered. Right, so to share, I personally bought Park Clementis, okay, back during the COVID 2020 period. Okay, but does that mean that this project is what you're going to buy in because it's by SingHaiYi, or maybe because Edmund also buy? All right, so that's where we are here to kind of find out whether Grand Dunman, as much as all the information, the hype is going on, is it really that situation where we as homeowners are able to get this property at the right price? And if all the landscaping, the design, the furnishing, how well are they pushing it out to us as consumers? So let us find out. So this is where you're going to get the first glimpse of how it looks like, because until now there's not much information, there's not much photos even of how this project is going to look like. So let us have the first glimpse, and you see it here in this channel first. Right, so voila, this is the view from the PCN, which is the park connector. All right, you can see that basically the entire structure is very, very prominent. Okay, can you imagine if you are driving down Dunman Road, right? I think the most prominent development in terms of height is Grand Dunman already. Easy, and you can see how they have positioned in terms of the park connector area, where people can basically just cycle and walk all the way to the park connector, where it links all the way to Marina Bay Sands. But you will have a very how should I say, towering view, you know, as you're driving down Dunman Road towards the Kallang area. So this is definitely going to be very, very prominent landmark, if you ask me, and it will be clearly seen by every single person. Okay, whether you are in the landed, whether you're staying nearby in the HDB, as long as you're driving past this Dunman Road, you will be able to witness this powers of property, and that's why it stands out. Okay, it stands out a lot. And let us take a look at some of the images that we got first from the developers. And of course, all this are still subject to minor changes here and there. So do take them with a pinch of salt. At this rate, I think most of the design should already be approved and shouldn't have much changes. But just in case, do our due diligence to make sure that whatever that I share today, if there's any major changes or minor changes, do use the latest one as your consideration factors. Okay. Right, so this is the drop-off point area. I think the developers has also done it very well, Lee, because it's a roundabout, a big space. And I think nowadays a lot of homeowners, they really want a proper drop-off area so that it's a little bit more large, more premium. And I think every one of us who have stayed in a condo, you know, sometimes the jam waiting by the side for the security guard to take down the contact details of your guests. You know, all this will give a different experience for you as a homeowner as well as a guest. So I particularly like how they have developed, put it out in such a big drop-off space. Right, so if you talk about Grand Dunman, you don't talk about the other two, okay? Which is, of course, we're talking about the Continuum as well as Tembusu Grand. You don't know about these two other properties. And of course, right now we have Grand Dunman here. Right, so all these three properties, that's why we call them the big three, right? In future, of course, we are looking at they are going to be more than big three, okay, maybe big four. So because opposite Grand Dunman, there's actually a bigger plot of land that is slated for GLS, and of course, there's no news about when this plot of land is going to be released for sale. But this is definitely for residential. So we will be expecting also another 18-story, because the plot ratio is the same as Grand Dunman, to be erected in the years to come. When are they going to launch? We are not so sure. And basing on the supply and demand of that area, we're going to see perhaps in the next 5 to 6 years down the road. But that one is just my estimation. And not only that, in future it will become big four, and we will also have another big five coming, which is also by Tembusu. So this plot of GLS is also just opposite Tembusu Grand. So those of you who are actually exploring into buying nearer to Katong area where Tembusu Grand is, do take note of this extra GLS that's going to be launched as well. Same thing, date, when is it? We don't know. How are they going to launch this? When are they going to do this? Basing on the supply and demand again. Right, so let us once and for all not go into the debate. Like this three, right, at least for the first three, right, they are in different zones of these 15 can. Because I've been seeing some feedbacks from different consumers out there, and even some videos, they highlight maybe these three zones are kind of different. But I mean, ultimately, let us stop the debate once and for all, where we are all in D15. Of course, how we segmentize the entire D15 is D15 very big, or it goes all the way to C Club even. So of course, are there some differences between the vibe, the audience, the prices? Definitely. Well, but of course, if you say that these big three are not in the same location, I think that's a little bit too far off, because we are very, very near to each other, these three projects. Every one of us have a certain objective or certain preference of what we like or dislike. Okay, so some I realize some of them, they say that these three are in different locations. I really don't see it. I mean, I'm an Easterner as well, so D15 is D15. Okay, but of course there will be some disparity in some of prices. That one we can't discount that. But let's say these three properties, if you're looking at Grand Dunman, you would definitely still look at the Continuum as well as Tembusu Grand to make a comparison. Right. So previously, if you have followed and saw some of the information and gotten some of the information from the Continuum as well as the Tembusu Grand, I think it will be the same for Grand Dunman. Okay, it will be the same because the distance is not too far off. You are still within the various MRT stations. Even the shopping malls nearby are all within the same, almost the same distance. So about it. But here, I want to tell you what is the main difference. Okay, similarity, I think quite straightforward, but there are some differences between Grand Dunman versus the other properties nearby. And I want to share with you all the actual thing that we can really use that to command in terms of our decision making. All right. None other than, of course, the MRT effect. Okay, we can't run away that Grand Dunman is the closest to the MRT. So we cannot say that, the Tembusu Grand as well as Continuum, they are near the MRT. But of course, which one is the nearest? Grand Dunman. Okay, Grand Dunman is still the nearest. So the convenience wise, I think hands down, you no need to say. The question is, you must ask yourself, by buying a property near the MRT, right? What is the premium that you are willing to pay? Right? Of course, we do not have the latest price list yet, but how much will the premium be for a property near an MRT? So this is something that we have to ask ourselves. Why? Because largely the premium that you paid will also impact your gain in future, correct? That means in future, if let's say you intend to sell this property, will you be paying that premium so that your profit in future will be lesser? So this is something as a homeowner, whether you're buying for own stay, buying for investment, you do need to take note of this consideration factor. I think this is very important. And if we look into the MRT effect, right, which I did share in one of my videos, so if you are following me, try to search for MRT, I would have a video that I explain a little bit about the MRT effect. Okay, so in the past, right, everybody is asking, which MRT station are you near? How many of you agree? If let's say you bought a property 10, 15, 20 years ago, everybody buy a property, they always ask which MRT which MRT, because everybody is going into the MRT effect during that. And if you are not near an MRT, basically it's a very ulu place. Okay, but fast forward now, right, till 2030, how many of you know that actually 8 in 10 households are going to have MRTs within 10 minutes of walking distance, right? So every 8 in 10 households by 2030, we are all going to be 10 minutes walk to the nearest MRT, you see? So the question is, now for Grand Dunman, we are 1 to 2 minutes. Will there be such a huge premium to command in future our sales price to be even higher for premium? So then question is, does it justify for me to buy that kind of premium? Right, so of course, it's still a very big question mark. So this is why we need to kind of look at the MRT effect a lot. Of course, I'm not discounting that MRT is not important. Okay, I'm not discounting that. But we have to equate that to the premium of the PSF of how much are we going to pay. So of course, if it's launched at a very attractive pricing and it's still near the MRT, you will know the answer yourself, okay, for the future Paya Lebar Air Base transformation. So these are all in line with Beyond 2030 plan. I'm just giving you guys a look into the magic crystal ball, a little bit of how we see it. And not only that, what we are looking at, why East side will definitely get a little bit more vibrancy. There will still be demand, because you must always understand how Singapore plans their property. Okay, you must always understand. Singapore always plan infrastructure first into a certain location.